One of the best parts about taking on a new research project for me is having that problem that somebody has worked on for years and years and years and has not been able to solve. I really love that piece of a research problem. In fact, it's even more exciting if somebody comes to me and says, oh, there's no way you'll find this. We've looked for this for years and years and years. There's no way you're going to find this. It's as if they've started a fire under me and I can't stop until I find the answer to that problem. I remember one situation where a family member told me about the cemetery and that there was no way in the world that I would find the cemetery. It was so hard to find, and the only way that somebody had found it years and years ago was because my great-grandfather had taken them there. Well, as soon as I heard about the cemetery, of course, it became a challenge for me. I had to find it. I had to find it, and I had to take pictures of that cemetery because nobody else had so far. So the first thing I did was start to investigate the problem. I started thinking about family members who possibly could have been buried there, and then I looked at the mortuaries who interred the body, and it was way up in the hills, far away from everything. In fact, so far away that my grandfather's first child died because they were so far away from medical care. And this is in West Virginia. So I went to the mortuary and they gave me this very scant sheet with directions on it, and it was something like go to this road and past the creek and up the holler, and I thought, oh, this is going to be an adventure, but I know that I can find the answer to this problem. So I drove off with all of my confidence, and I drove up one side of the hill and down through the valley and back up the other side and back up the other side, and I stopped at this house and there was a sign out front that said, trespassers will be shot. And I thought, oh, that's kind of exciting. That could be an adventure. So of course I got out of my car, and with that thrill of I could be shot going through my blood, I walked up to the door and knocked, and fortunately they did not pull a gun on me. And I asked if they knew of any Sowards families or this cemetery that lived in the area, and the woman said, oh, there's this Sowards man and he lives up on the other side of the hill. So I went down back through the valley and up the other side, and there was a man walking on the side of the road, and I asked if he knew who this Sowards person was, and he said, oh, he shot himself a few years ago. And I thought, oh, okay, well, I guess news doesn't get around very far, because that was just up on the other side of the hill, and I mentioned the cemetery, and he wasn't much help. He didn't really know where it was. So I thought I'd backtrack. And I went back to the beginning, and I thought holler, creek, there weren't a lot of defined elements in this area, but after several hours of searching, and after I'm sure I followed about 20 moonshine roads up into the hills, I finally drove up this road, and it had just started to rain, so it was getting a little bit muddy, and I looked up on the crest of the hill, and just on the crest of the hill I could see a little gray tombstone peeking up over, and I was so thrilled, and I pulled up, and indeed I had found the cemetery and found all of the people in that cemetery that I was looking for, and there was such a wonderful sweet smell with the rain hitting the mud. It was the most beautiful smell I've ever smelled, and I found it.